Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christine, and today I thought I'd do a little sewing plan video. I have returned from Sew Expo, and I have some fabrics I picked up in Seattle, as well as a few that I kind of briefly showed you that I picked up some patterns in Seattle at Sew Expo. And so I'm kind of starting to put all the puzzle pieces together, and I wanted to share. So before we start off, I wanted to show you a couple things that I got at Sew Expo. Well, just one thing, but these are these pins by a brand called Taylor Seville, and they're really cool. So I got these ones which have this really cool handle or hand area. I'm a little bit under the weather, if you can tell, so I'm not quite feeling up to myself. But I got a little container of these ones that I've been loving. So I think 2 years ago, I got this type, which this one is the silk pin type, and I absolutely love these. They have a really narrow head, and they're super fine, so they're really good for silks or lightweight cottons. So I really loved these, and I got a new kind. These are a little bit more heavy duty than these. I would say these are more like an everyday one, where these are more for my more delicate fabrics. So yeah, I love these because they're also iron. You can iron on them and they don't melt. So I just wanted to share those. I love, love, love these. I highly recommend them, by Taylor Seville. I think that they're available online. They're available in some places if you haven't seen them before. Okay, now on to the fabric. So let me see, I'm gonna move some of this off my lap. The very first project that I'm working on is going to be a Great Jones jacket for Easter. So Easter is April 20th. So I kind of need to, I'm gonna be working on this like this week kind of a thing. But I had picked up this cotton, I don't know, last year, sometime on sale. And it's this really pretty navy blue and white stripe. And each of the navy stripes has kind of like a different design. This one, so it's an interesting print, and I think it may actually be a home dec fabric. I'm not totally sure. It's kind of like in between a tweed and just like a heavy cotton. So I'm going to make a Great Jones jacket out of it, which is one of my patterns. It's just a really classic kind of popover jacket. So I had seen last year at my fabric store this trim. It's very Chanel, and it almost looks like it has little pearls, but it's actually just this silver, kind of silver stitching in there. And I had seen this and I loved it, and it kind of stayed in my mind. But I didn't remember how dark it was. So I went back this morning to get it, because what I'd like to do with the jacket is do a trim all along the outer edges instead of, I'll probably still do the bias binding, but I'll probably do this over just as a decorative. But this one is obviously way too dark for this fabric, but I bought it anyways because if it stayed in my mind for over a year, it's something I really want. So this is something that I did buy this morning, and I'm just gonna put it in my stash. And come winter, we'll do a really beautiful Chanel inspired either black or beautiful navy jacket, and we'll use that. So this one's going in the stash. But I did find one that I think I'm going to use for this jacket. So it's this really interesting trim. Um, I'm not 100% sold. It wasn't like exactly what I was looking for. And I think it does still read just a hair dark, especially now that I'm seeing it on camera. So the jacket is going to go this way. The stripes will go down. So like this will go running down the front on the edge. So it's not horrible, but I may or may not use it. I don't know. It was kind of the best I could find, and sometimes you just kind of buy, I don't know. I was like, well, it's not horrible, but I really need to see it on the whole jacket. But I was also thinking this fabric has a really interesting selvage. So I know sometimes I've seen people use selvages as trim. So I was like, well, I could always kind of do like a little selvage trim, going maybe the opposite way or bias or something. And then I also thought, well, I could use the selvage and this. So you can kind of see like almost the little selvage poking out from the trim is kind of cute. And then it kind of helps balance the trim, kind of works the trim in a little bit. So this is going to be my next project. May or may not use the trim. Stay tuned. I'll definitely do a video with my wrap up like I always do. But I found something else really interesting at the fabric store this morning. So they often do scarves. If you watch my channel, I've gotten quite a few scarves from them. They, I think, well, this one's from Max Mara. So I think that they have a source where they're buying scarves from some of the fashion brands or maybe overstock or something. But I saw this Max Mara silk scarf. They were on sale for, I mean, just like you can't pass them up kind of a price. They just clear them out. And look at the fashionista girls. Isn't she so cute? I love this one. Her little ruffled sleeves. I was like, oh, I would love that jacket. And so I saw this and I was needing to find a lining, an lining for the striped jacket. And when I saw this scarf, I thought that's going to be the coolest lining. So I'm going to put the girls on the inside of my jacket. I won't have enough for the sleeves, so I'm going to have to put something from my stash in the sleeves, but at least I'm pretty sure I can get the front and the back cut out of this cute scarf, and that's going to be the inside. It's going to be really, really fun, and that way I'll have my fashion girls on the inside of the jacket. So that was a really fun find, and yeah, good reminder. Check the vintage stores as well. I've gotten some fun scarves, silk scarves from vintage stores. Hey, and their fabric too. So my fabric store, if you watch my channel, you know my fabric store has some really, really good sales, and they are constantly marking stuff down. So I always peruse the sale rack, and this time I found this really pretty. It's like a quilting cotton, but it's really good quality quilting cotton, and it's just such a pretty purple color. And I thought this would be possibly so. Actually, why it caught my eye was I was holding my trim, and I passed by, and the trim actually has a bit of purple in it. I don't know if you can see. You can see kind of these, it's here. That's purple. It's like a really pretty lavender color. And I really love the way it looks with this. And so I thought, well, maybe this would be an interesting blouse. And I could do kind of the navy purple thing. I don't know. And then I got it home and I was like, no, I think it's two different styles. It's not quite, even when I look at it now, I'm like, I don't know. But regardless, I think this is going to be a really cute Hudson top. So that's one of my patterns that is a sleeveless, but it kind of goes down just a little bit past the arm. So it covers that like upper part of the arm, which is why I love it. And it has just a bit of a raised neckline with a big bow tie, and you can tie it in front, you can tie it in back, you can leave it loose. It's just like a great kind of all over top, and it's going to be really good for spring and summer. So I picked up 1.5 yards of this one. It might go for Easter or might not. So now a couple of t-shirts. So I recently relaunched my Rivington t-shirt pattern with a long sleeve edition. And so from Holly Lobby, actually, in the Pacific Northwest, I picked up this checkerboard pink knit, and it's super, super soft. It's one of their brushed jersey, I would say. And I'm going to make a long sleeve tee out of this. I want to make it like ASAP, because this is definitely something I can wear all very practical, and I really love it. I think it's such a pretty, happy print. So t-shirt out of that, and then another fancy t-shirt. I'm going to be working on this afternoon. So I picked up this white jersey knit from Fabric Mart, which they're located in Pennsylvania, but they obviously do a lot of online. They have a ton of sales, like literally every day. I think I got an email from them with different things on sale. So I think this was like $4 a yard, really good price. So I got it when I was in the US. And so it's a nice heavy weight. I like for white t-shirts either to use a French terry or like a nice heavy. And so I'm pleasantly surprised with the quality of this. I will drop the link to it below if you're interested, just because I know it's really hard to buy stuff online, especially white. This was definitely a risk, but the price was okay, and I was buying a bunch of other stuff for expo from them, so I kind of tagged along. But it's really good. It's not see-through at all, so it'll be great for a t-shirt. And the kicker part is I found these doilies. So these aren't vintage or anything, but there's a doily lady at the market, and these are from India. So she sells a bunch of stuff. I used a little larger. I got some like larger than plates, and I used them for my Christmas table. So, they're just like really fun things. But what I decided to do is I'm going to place these like this down the arm of my t-shirt. It's an experiment. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But I'm going to do them all down the arm of the white t-shirt. And what I'm planning to do is zigzag them on. The t-shirt and it doesn't fray, so I'll just zigzag them on, and then I'll cut from behind, and so it'll be actually sheer down my arm. So I'm thinking this will be a fun t-shirt for spring. It'll be kind of cool as well because I'll have the air flow through the sleeves. So yeah, that's going to be my new t-shirt project. So now on to some kind of things that are on the burner, but the burners are just simmering kind of projects. So I made this Baxter top, if you remember last year, and I wore it so much before winter came until it got too cold. And I love the idea of it. I loved that I could wear a tank top but have coverage. So it was still very cool. I was wearing this, out to dinner, out with friends. It just became really a piece that I wear a lot, and I'll probably start wearing again. But I love the idea of sheer. And one of my patterns is called the Minetta. And if you remember, it has like this kind of like a built-in bustier. It's not fitted at all, but it's just the illusion of a bustier. And ever since I designed that pattern, I've wanted to make it in an organza. And so I really, really, really think now's the time. I know how much I wore this. So if I had an overlay dress that I could wear with like a slip, I think I would wear it a lot. And so I've checked my local fabric store, and they only have silk organza, which it's $39.99 a meter. So with the exchange rate, bumps it up to close to $50 a yard, and I just can't do it. I just can't, because I'm going to need like 2.5, 3 yards to make it happen. So it's just not. That's silly. So I found and this one is actually a poly as well, polyester. It's a little wrinkled because it's been in the back of the closet scrunched. So it needs an iron, but I'll pop it up here, an organza, very similar, I think, for $3.99 at Minerva. So I'm thinking I'm going to order it, and I'm thinking about either white, cream. There's like a lilac color, which is really pretty. So I'm thinking about ordering that and making a Minetta dress out of it, and then wear it over like just a simple white or probably white slip. And so yeah, this is something that's kind of on the burner simmering. And then also on the burner simmering, I picked up a couple of patterns that I think may go well with some fabric that I've been picking up lately. So the first one I want to show you is this. So if you remember my video from Castellón de la Plana, where I bought this really bold, bright cotton. So check it out. I got this pattern. This is from 1988. So it has that open back, which is so current. But I think I could probably still get away with wearing a bra, I hope. Otherwise, I'll bring this down so I can. Cool dropped waist, a nice full skirt. So I thought, that could be really interesting. And then I also picked up this one, which is a very similar style. This one is from 1986. So kind of, I almost think that like the Vogue one, this one is like the more, a little bit more mature, where this one is maybe a little bit younger, but they're very similar, very similar. This one is a one piece, and this one is actually a blouse and a skirt. They're separates, which I love. And I would love separates because this would be kind of a cool skirt. So I may go with this one. I don't know. Let me know if you have any preference or what you think about that idea. The blouse has buttons in the back, so it's really, really cute. I think it's a nice, and both of these luckily are in my size, which doesn't happen very often with vintage patterns. So I was thinking either one of these patterns, I'm not quite sure which one, but would be really pretty in this fabric. So that's the first one. I'm probably not going to make it within the next, the next month or so. It'll be after that. And then, if you remember, also I picked up this chiffon, um, and kind of thinking, a lot of you commented that you could see a kaftan, and I agree. I think it could be really, really interesting. Let me unfold this just a little. This was actually scarf panels, if you remember. This just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Very Italian, Riviera, tropical. And so I found this pattern, vintage one, also at Expo, and it's a kaftan, and it has this really cool, I think it's shirring, zigzag stitching. So it's like a zigzag that kind of brings it in. Let me take it out of the wrapper so we can see it a little bit better. So it's got kind of this like zigzag trim. Could even do some smocking there, I imagine. But what I was thinking, I don't know, as much as I love the long and it's so elegant and beautiful, I don't know if the long is really very practical for me. I think it's a little, just maybe a little bit too much, and I don't know, I just don't know where I would wear it. But if it was shorter, so I'm thinking, like, what if it was just past my bum? Then I could wear it with like little shorts underneath. I could wear it with, like a cropped pant. So some other options, it kind of makes it more of a blouse as opposed to a kaftan. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Obviously that's why it's simmering a little bit because I do need to think about it. But yeah, I think it would be kind of an interesting way to use this beautiful fabric. And if I made it just past my bum, I could still wear it as a bathing suit cover up if I did it, just like that mid thigh. That I could also wear a short, but the short would just show ever so slightly. So I think this is coming into a good option. The final thing I have to show you is, if you remember, also this bright fabric that I got, and I actually haven't looked at it in a moment. So yeah, this bright, fabulous print that I picked up. Definitely, it's like evening wear, kind of fancy, just by the weight and the feel of it. Well, I found this Vogue pattern. So my mom and I popped into Joann's, and it was in total disarray, but it was interesting just to go one last time. And I did pick up this Vogue pattern, and I thought that this could be an interesting dress to make out of the fabric. I would probably do this length with a short sleeve, most likely. I think it kind of depends on the occasion that comes up, but what do you think about that? I think it's kind of interesting. I think the full skirt could really kind of let the fabric shine. And I definitely have enough to kind of play with the placement a little bit, because I mean, we've got all kinds of different designs on it just built into the fabric. But I originally had thought I was going to make pants, but the more I read your comments, everyone just was so thoughtful, always so thoughtful with your comments and suggestions. And so many of you suggested like a skirt or dress or something. And I just thought that this pattern was beautiful regardless. But I think that it could be a really interesting option. So anyways, that's what I'm thinking about that. So that's what I've got. I'm busy as always. Lots of things to do. First, I'm going to start with my Easter jacket and the t-shirts, and then move on to some of the simmers. So thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know if you have any suggestions for me. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.